Well guys, I am happy to say another Atelier game is on its way. Now, I was really surprised when they announced this game, mostly because we just got Atelier Yumiya, but hey, I'm not complaining. And as your resident Atelier fangirl, best believe I'm gonna do a before you buy for Atelier Resleriana, the Red Alchemist, and the White Guardian. For this video, I'm just gonna condense it to Atelier Resleriana or Atelier Res. And also, this game was given to me by Koei Tecmo, so thank you Koei Tecmo. If you end up liking the video, then hit that like button and consider subscribing, and also consider hitting the hype button. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So before we address the game at hand, I want to go over a little bit of confusion regarding its release, and that is this game already out? And is this the mobile game? To get the first question out of the way, no, this game is not already out. You're probably getting it confused with the mobile game. Atelier Resleriana, the Red White Alchemist, and the White Guardian is a single player experience that takes place in the universe of Atelier Resleriana. So for the second question, no, it's not the mobile game. And might I add, I love this approach. We don't like mobile games on this channel, and I didn't even play the mobile version of Atelier Res because I don't like mobile games. It doesn't matter that it's my favorite franchise of all time, but saying that, this begs the question, do you need to play the mobile game to understand Atelier Res? Honestly, you really don't. Mainly because one, they shut it down, so you can't even play it if you wanted to, unless you speak Japanese, and number two, they're making it a whole new story from the mobile games. Although there are Easter eggs and little things in there that do reference the mobile game. Now, I'm not sure why the mobile game didn't perform as well as it should, but I'm kind of happy for it. Is that mean to say? But now we established that it's not a mobile game and that it's its own full-fledged console game. So let's talk about the consoles, the pricing, and the different versions. As of the making of this video, the game is currently coming out for the PlayStation 5, the Nintendo Switch, and the PC. There isn't news about a specific Nintendo Switch 2 version, it's just for the Switch 1, although you can still play it on the Switch 2, but there's no dedicated version to the Switch 2. Hi guys, it's Future Mandy here to tell you how the Switch 1 version of the game runs. So to start, the game runs at 30 FPS, and I don't really notice any frame rate dips, so that's good. The game aesthetically looks beautiful and it runs really nice handheld, but there are some things that I don't really like, mainly being there's a lot of loading screens, although they're not long, but that could be attributed to the fact that I'm playing it on the Nintendo Switch 2. You do have the options to change around different settings like depth of field, which I actually turned off because it was kind of too much, and other minimal settings. I would say the Nintendo Switch version is not unplayable, and it's actually really pretty, but it does suffer from a lot of the performance issues we've seen with later Nintendo Switch games. And this will be a great game to get the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade. I feel like that would fix a lot of these problems. Now for the Steam Deck, it will likely be playable, but I will say this, Koei Tecmo Atelier games are oftentimes not the best optimized for the PC. So as of now, I think that it will run better on the PlayStation 5, but that's just my hunch. This game will be priced at $60, which is basically any game nowadays, so yeah. Now for my physical homies out there, in the West, we are getting a physical copy of the game, but only for the PlayStation 5. But you could import a Nintendo Switch copy from places like VGP and Play Asia. I don't know what's going on there, that's just really weird. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the story and the characters. So contrary to popular belief, there is actually two protagonists in this game, which is really not unheard of for Atelier games. A lot of the older ones had where you get to pick your protagonist. And funny enough, you don't actually play as a character named Resleriana, which is weird because the naming conventions for Atelier games is Atelier, name of protagonist. But for Res, it's a bit different. It's a combination of three different characters, Resna, Valeria, and Izana. And that's how you get Resleriana. But cool naming conventions aside, you actually don't get to play as any of the three characters I just mentioned. Instead, you play as Rias and Slade. So now that we know who we're playing as, what is the story about this game? The story is that their town, Helafen, a thriving mining town, was destroyed by a mysterious disaster, forcing everyone in town, including the protagonist, to be driven away from their town and home. But as many years passed, the restrictions to the town were lifted, and now there are plans to restore the town. Which, might I add, this is completely off topic, but why would you want to live on a town that was previously destroyed by something mysterious? I don't know. I wouldn't want to live there, honestly. I know that's supposed to be this town building mechanic, but practically thinking about it, you're like, maybe it's not a good idea to make a town where the town was destroyed. So our two protagonists, Wright and Slade, put their hat into the ring, not only to return to their hometown, but to see it restored and thriving, and uncover the truth behind the mysterious disaster. During this journey, it leads them to buried ruins and ancient alchemy ateliers. This leads to Rise discovering that she has a natural talent for alchemy, as using the atelier awakens her abilities, which paves the way for restoring the town. So yeah, your basic atelier fanfare, and honestly, I'm here for it. I love it. You got the mysterious ruins, the latent powers and talents of alchemy, and a mysterious disaster. Now Slade, on the other hand, cannot use alchemy, but he awakens other abilities instead. Through the use of the Gia's Core, a mysterious tool in his possession, he can open entrances that lead to alternative dimensions. Do you see where I'm going with this? So this device that can only be used by him opens the doors to many different alchemists in the universe. And for the lack of a better term, this is the main gimmick of Atelier Resleriana. Most Atelier characters do a cameo. Alrighty, now we established that you could summon previous characters from previous Atelier games, but not all characters are playable, only a select few. Now so far, besides the two main characters, we've seen 4 characters that you could play as, making the entire roster a 6 playable character game. The first character is a fan favorite in the Atelier community, and she's one of my favorites, and that is Windabelle. She's not a main protagonist, but she's a major side character in all 3 of the Dust Trilogy games. Next we have is Raze. Now this one, I don't know why this character's here. I don't blame anybody for not knowing this character. Heck, I don't really know this character too well because he is the protagonist of the Mana Kamiya 2, which is a very old Atelier game. Another character is Totori from Atelier Totori, which is part of the Arlen trilogy of games. And finally, my favorite in the group, Atelier Ryza. Wait, it's not Atelier Ryza? I would think the flagship game that made Atelier popular would be in the roster, but no, she's not there. Not as a playable character. Instead, we get Sophie, which I do love Sophie. I have a little Menor droid right there. She is very cute and one of my favorite protagonists, but no Ryza. But sadly, those are the only characters that are playable in the game, and the rest of the other characters are just NPCs. The NPCs are characters like Ryza, Aisha, Ellie, and many more. From a practical reason, I can see why they didn't want to make every character playable. Now that we've covered the story and all the characters that you will meet in Atelier Resleriana, let's go on forward to the gameplay and the alchemy. First, let me start with the exploration, and this is split into 2 parts. First, let's start with the field exploration, where you get to explore the world's mainland as a whole. You get to battle and gather different materials like any other Atelier game, while enjoying the passage of time. Also, yeah, this game does not have the time mechanic, which, great. The second part of the exploration is in these dimensional parts. These are basically the dungeons of the game. It kind of works like a roguelike game. So the monsters change when you go in and out of these dungeons. As the difficulty of each dungeon increases, the more rare items you could gather. But speaking of monsters, how exactly are we going to defeat them? The battles make use of 6 different characters, and the way it's arranged is 3 party members in the front and then 3 party members in the back. From the gameplay, it plays a lot like Sophie's 2 gameplay, which is awesome. I loved the gameplay in that game, but with a few tweaks. One of these tweaks is the multi-action mechanic, which, as the name states, it's where you can use multiple skills in one turn to deal major damage. There is also interrupt mechanics, which basically inserts turn for backline members to make the most of the multi-actions. A unit gauge is also present, which if you fill up, you can unleash a big flashy attack. I love those. That deals massive damage to the enemies. And finally, we reach the alchemy. The alchemy is really important to any Atelier game. So at its basic terms, you follow a recipe to get a item. In Atelier Resleriana, you use this thing called gift color synthesis. As you can tell by the footage, many items have a color associated with them. If you link the items with the same colors, their traits will pass down to the final product, and making in return all the catalyst ingredients. Catalyst ingredients can be used to change the color of the slot or change the category of the next slot. Saying all this, you guys probably might not understand what I'm saying because like any Atelier game, it's easier to practice on hand and not just listen to a tutorial. Slade, on the other hand, since he doesn't really know alchemy, his role is a bit different. So with the use of the Geass core, you could cooperate with other party members, and traits related to these characters can be put into the item and create stronger items. So yeah, it's fair to say that the game has a ton of new features, although the alchemy is not as different as previous ones. And with our protagonists, Rias and Slay, having two different mechanics, it makes for a really engaging system. But that's not it, guys. I kind of touched upon it earlier in the story department, but there's actually a town building and shop management mechanic. I mentioned that the town was destroyed, but with the events of the game, they want to rebuild it. And a great way to do that is to open up shops and sell different items. So our protagonist Rias opens a store called Mistletoe Miscellaneous. It was the store that her grandfather used to own. And in this store, this is where you sell different items to make a profit, but along that, you can also hire fairies to help you with this building process. Your job is to increase your sales, get profit, and then you can reinvest that into developing the town. As the town restoration progresses, you can visibly see the town becoming bigger and bigger. It's a nice little loop to get you distracted from, the story progression and the alchemy. Alrighty, now on to the miscellaneous. These are the things that didn't fit into the other categories. You guys know how it is, but I still say it. According to Yusori Sakuda, who is the lead developer in the game, stated that the game is still connected to the other games, so it is canon. So it's not a spin-off of an Atelier game like Atelier Nelki, it is a mainline Atelier game. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some good info out of it. I am honestly really excited for this game. Please let me know if you have a question down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And also let me know if you're not getting the game and reasons why. If you like this video, then hit that like button, would appreciate it. And if you like my content and would love to see more, please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 10k by the end of the year, and I hope we could do it. Like, I really hope we could do it. If you're interested in JRPG content, before you buys, list videos, and discussions, this is the right channel for you. You can follow me in my socials in the description down below. I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful rest of your day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.